This chart shows the percentage of prime-age adults living without a spouse or partner based on Pew Research data. You can see a clear gap here at the top, where over 60% of Black women are currently unpartnered. You can do everything right. You get the education, you secure the income, you build a successful career. You have the degree in hand and the title on your door, yet you unlock the door to a quiet apartment and eat dinner alone. That isolation carries a heavy historical weight. Family formation in the Black community sustained severe, systemic damage over decades. It started with the physical removal of men from the neighborhood through mass incarceration. Then came deindustrialization. The stable manufacturing jobs that allowed a man to provide for a family disappeared, replaced by boarded-up windows and economic collapse. Add in redlining and forced geographic exclusion. Policies actively destabilized community wealth and cohesion, making the basic act of building a safe household incredibly difficult. Those historical wounds are real, but the immediate crisis today is a dating culture that actively works against cooperation. We are trained to optimize for ego, options, and self-protection. That training causes us to completely misread the signs of true commitment. The most damaging mistake a woman can make in the dating market is confusing a man's desire for access with a man's intention to build. A man taking you out on dates, giving you compliments, and initiating physical intimacy is showing attention. Saying things like, "Let's see where this goes," or "We should get married someday," is still just attention. This split-screen logic tree maps the difference. On the left, attention branches into dead ends. On the right, intention branches into structural pillars. A serious man presents a concrete timeline, outlines his vision for a family, explains what he is building, and specifically asks where you fit into that structure. Dating is not a commitment. Talk of engagement is not a commitment. If you follow this tree down to its conclusion, the legal, public wedding is the scoreboard. That is the only actual proof of selection. When you mistake being wanted for being chosen, you waste your prime building years on men who only wanted a temporary experience. Many women lead with their degrees, their six-figure salaries, and their boss identity. They assume a high-level resume makes them highly selectable for marriage. Men use a completely different rubric to evaluate a wife. They are looking for peace, respect, loyalty, and a genuine willingness to cooperate. Public competence does not guarantee private partnership capacity. You can be an absolute force in the boardroom and a destructive hurricane in the living room. A career secures independence. But if a woman cannot put that independence aside to cooperate within a household, her success functions as armor against intimacy. This brings us to the trap of the regular man. A constant fear of settling causes women to reject stable, faithful, working men simply because they lack flash. An exciting, chaotic man looks great on your social media feed, right up until he burns your house down. A boring man with discipline will actually build you one. The problem compounds when women outsource their dating standards to their single friends. You end up taking counsel from people who do not have the marriage outcome they claim to want. You have to filter your circle. Ask yourself if your friends celebrate healthy compromise, or if they label every single act of cooperation as settling. Rejecting ordinary stability to keep the approval of a group chat leads directly to long-term isolation. Unhealed communities reproduce unhealed outcomes. The math simply does not work. People demand traditional marriage outcomes while refusing to put in any traditional preparation. For a woman, actual preparation means learning emotional regulation. It requires building a peaceful home culture and developing the ability to support a partner without feeling like you are erasing yourself. Evaluating a man requires looking beyond the temporary high of romantic chemistry. You audit his sacrifices, his planning, and his capacity to commit to you publicly. There is a deep historical beauty in Black family formation. We have a legacy of unified, cooperative households that stand in sharp contrast to the isolation we see today. You must stop letting ego call itself standards. Look in the mirror and honestly ask if you bring the peace that a good man requires to build a life. Stop waiting for a fantasy to save you. A lasting marriage is built through intentional preparation.